Ah, there we go. Hey, what's happening there, guys? Or as Vic Diabieto, a fellow YouTuber much more famous than me, that's for sure, he would say, hey, how you do? What do you say? What do you know? Of course, Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos would say that, and I guess I kind of talk like that for many years because of the fact that, well, I do live in the Northeast. You know, Montreal, we're only like 7 hours north of New York, which, of course, I'd like to visit too again one day. And if I'm revolving around, it's because I'm always proud to show the things that I have here on my wall in my office. And this is where I spend a lot of time, you know, taking apart magazines and sometimes books, because unfortunately print is dead, as the word goes, and most of these things I buy for peanuts and basically resell what I get in them, you know. But now we're not talking about these beautiful things, which, by the way, as you can see, most of these things are for sale, and I frame myself. And thinking, and maybe you're not shaving, but I'm going to show you, of course, now the 59 Impala model. Okay, there she be. Monogram, 1/25th scale, plastic kit, Chevy Impala, coupe, sport coupe as it's officially known. I was really happy to find this, I guess by timing, a few years ago when I was still buying and selling on eBay. And I got this thing, I think for like 40 bucks or something, 40 bucks, like tax in, shipping included, which is amazing because this is a model, pretty sure it's from the 90s, because I think it's just like the one, maybe it was made a bit newer. Actually, let's see if it says in the box. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe it's 2000 something, eh? Let's see here. Yeah, maybe it's more like 2000 something, eh? Here we go, 1996. Yeah, because the one I had, when I first built this kit, it was in the early 90s, and the box cover was different. It was much more 80s, and you know, the car was an illustration, as so many models are. Oh, I can already sense this is not going to be a quick video. Anyway, so yeah, 2 weeks after I finished the commuter train painting, the locomotive, I right back into it, my next project, which I've been hunkering to make for some time now, for a few months, I guess. And I got things going already, as you can see. And I'm going to stop here and show you a little bit more here before we get to this part here of what I'm doing presently. Well, we have to be in my room for me to show you the first 59 Chevy Impala kit that I made. My God, like 25 years ago almost, if not more. And there's Gloria. Gloria, are you going to lick yourself on the video now? Yeah, that's what they do half the day. I know, I checked it out, I researched it. Okay, so, alright, well, this is my gorgeous, of course, long gone 65 Buick, which I posted a post of a different picture of it at the same place 20 years ago that I mentioned that I loved. Well, I didn't mention I loved the car. I think I said in so many words when my dream was shattered of owning it again, because I sold it a year later in 2001, and then my dream was shattered when I found out that the guy I sold it to, who restored it completely, he fucking sold it, and it's in Sweden. So anyway, I'm not going to say more of that, because I made myself a new way of thinking that if I'm going to get frazzled about things, I'm going to cease to talk about it too much, because it's just going to go into a negative cycle, because I'm freaking bipolar and we have a chemical imbalance in the brain. So anyway, here's the 59 Chevy. Okay, so anyway, when I built this thing, not at all like this, okay? It was literally a smoke blue or smoke gray. Anyway, it was more of a gray than blue, but... And I think this is the same one. I'm not even sure. It was so long ago that I made this one from the one I made like 25 years ago, because I don't know, I didn't like it that much. And sometimes if I didn't have much money to go buy models, well, I would take apart one I didn't like too much and try to make it better, or hot rod it or something. But this one, I did a junker out of it, and unfortunately, as you can see, it looks cool, but and I did sort of a diorama with it, but unfortunately I don't know, I guess I moved a few times, I didn't take care of my things enough, and yeah, that windshield got smashed. And also there's damage on the yeah, that part of that fin on the right side is fucked, and it doesn't matter, it's a junker, for crying out loud. I mean, I probably bought this thing, I think, on sale at Zellers or something back in the day for like freaking 10 bucks or less. Okay, now I'm going to show you something else related to this, which was another inspiration to build this model a certain way. Anyway, I'll show you now. Okay, now we're back in my living room here, and you can see the locomotive, Montreal locomotive, commuter locomotive. an F unit as is known, built by EMD. This is from a real locomotive that went up and down the island, east to west, west to east, for God knows how many years, for decades, I should say. And then, of course, work before was a CN locomotive, and because these were built in the like 1939 to the late 50s, I think. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. But anyway, if you're interested in this, you want to know more, especially to purchase it, well, I will ship it anyway, even though it'll be a pain in the ass, because you can see it's not small. Anyway, so now, there we go. Look at this beautiful thing. This is a scene from one of my favorite movies called Tin Men. And I'm going to stop a second, turn that light off, actually. Okay. So, this is a scene, like I was saying, from one of my favorite movies from 1987 called Tin Men. And it's starring Danny DeVito and Richard Dreyfuss. Terrific team in this movie. Easy to follow, good plot, and great soundtrack, and takes place in Baltimore in 1963 about, these two guys I just mentioned, big, Hollywood stars that play aluminum siding salesmen. And anyway, Danny DeVito's wife, played by Barbara Hershey, this is what she drives. That's a scene, her car she's driving up here. And she's driving up at home, and so I don't know, I somehow got the idea because of this movie to do the Impala this color, because I figured it's so cool, light green with the dark green like that. Of course, only recently I found out that actually these are not, as I thought for decades, the original colors to these cars. Obviously the car was restored, and somebody goosed it up a bit, by choosing those colors, because they were still typical colors on cars in the late 50s, ending in the early 60s, give or take. And so that's the 59 Impala, I forgot to mention, 59 Chevy is such one of the coolest designs ever made, let alone by GM, that, I mean, you could give me a basic model Biscayne like my friend Scott has in Alberta, 4-door, no side trim. I don't give a shit, I'd be happy, because it's just such a cool car. It's so mean looking. Look at this. Here's the rear of the car in the movie. Where is it? There it is. It's about to back up and hit Richard Dreyfuss's 63 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. And look how cool that is. I mean, look, the 59 Cadillac for me is my favorite all-time car. I've rode in 2 of them. But the 59 Chevy is way up there. I love 59 Buicks and Pontiacs, but the 59 Chevy is definitely in second in command of the coolest cars from 59, or let alone from GM. And so I tried to doing my model as similar as this as possible, these colors, even though they were not part of GM's palette. Incidentally, this car did not really smash into that Cadillac. They used a little trick with the filming, like with probably a junker, they painted the same colors. And yeah, so now we'll go back to office. Well, might as well go back this way like this, instead of stopping the camera from running all the time. This guy, I'm going to have to take my friend Julian's advice one day and do a proper video on it, because I did a video on it, believe it or not, in my bathroom in a different apartment that was also dark 10 years ago, and it's not a great video. So anyway, more to come of that. That was a gift. Point St. Charles Yard, not for sale. I don't sell gifts. Well, unless the person would die or something, This I might sell. This is amazing, but anyway, and vintage, and to go along with things, Peterbilt, $359, painting I did. Give her a best shot there. Had this in my room for a while. Look how big this thing is. Okay, so back in the office here. Sorry if it's a little disarray. I'm always working on shit here, always working on stuff. So there you saw the box for the 59 Chevy, and produced in 1996. Okay, so here's the body that I painted last week. Was it last week? Yeah, Saturday. And it was a bit daunting to try to do the two-toning due to the way the fins are cut. So it was hard to keep the tape, the masking tape right here, to be, sticking to the edges of the fin, because it's just an edge. And actually then I didn't tape that up properly when I did the green, so I got a bit of the green here and there, so I had to shoot this again. But all in all, I'm very happy with it, but I would love to be able to do I haven't done it in a while, a really nice paint job. You can see I put a little too thick here. I mean a really nice paint job where it's not bubbling, and you know, my friend was suggesting to me, he's like, yeah, you would need to like, you know, have one of these, I guess like how could I compare it to like an incubator, you know, where, you know, you could stick your hands in there between like a cellophane kind of thing, and so that there's no dust that gets in, because it's all about dust, you know. And so if you're, you know, I hope, again, now that I think of it, that if you know you're itching to create something, you're a car guy or whatever, you love planes and you've got the time and money, because it doesn't take much money, you can buy even stuff used, but new is better because you know everything is there. I bought a 57 Chevy model last week for like $10, man. There's no rear bumper, for Christ's sake. I told the guy, I said, listen, he was asking like $15. No, he's asking 18. And, you know, I told him, I said, well, would you take 15, you know, by email? He says, yeah. And so I go to Verdun to get it, and a nice guy, you know, a French guy, and I look for the bumper of the box. I didn't see it in the photo. It wasn't there. And I'm like, dude, I'll give you $10. I said, if you find the bumper, I'll come back and give you $5, you know. So anyway, so I just love these colors. They're so 50s. They're so old school, you know, this kind of jade metallic green. This jade metallic green, you can see, came out real nicer because this is actually a hobby paint. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is, right here. Tamiya Paint, right? This is made specifically for models. It's not cheap, too. This tiny little can, it costs $10 frickin'. But the spray is mist, is finer. It's made for models, because the problem with the other stuff is, like, okay, I don't have the other paints right now. These big ones are, you know, it's a better deal, like for the light green here. But the thing is that it's, again, it's not made for small scale stuff like this. So, but I think there's a way around that. Anyway, whatever. So, so this is great. This is done. I just put the glass in. I'm checking a crack right here on the rear A post that I don't know if I probably caused it. I'm not sure. You know, and I just also finished this morning putting these stickers, so these seats, these inserts here. Came out real nice. What the fuck is that? Paint? It's paint. What? Shit. Anyway, hang on a second. Alright. Took that off there. Did the door panels. Well, not just painted, but I just did before all the silver things, you know, the window cranks and all that stuff. And frame is painted, of course. Spray paint. Looks great. What else? The wheels. Something odd about the wheels I noticed that's different from the kit I made, the convertible I did in the 90s, is that those white inserts, I had to paint them. But before they were plastic, you just insert them like anything else. And I think they did that either because they got cheap, or really was probably because maybe people said, hey, you know, we'd like to have the option to paint the white wall black. You know, so it's body color. And I get that because it's funny, you look at this one in the box, and what does it remind me of? Another 59 Impala Sport Coupe that was in a famous movie called, it's about Chicanos, you know, and the lowrider gangs and stuff, and, well, not the two together, but, and there's one in there, behind this guy named Chico, and it's a driver condition, because the fucking movie was made in 1980, so the car is only like, what, 19 years old, and it was in good shape for the age, but, you know, it wasn't mint, and it was black also with the original hubcaps like that, and where's it? You know, the regular tires, they're 14 inches bias ply. Instructions are here. Haven't even really looked at them yet, just for check a couple of things to paint. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to show you here. I got something drying here. There's so much paint on it. It's so nassif, it's so strong. Here's my tree with most of the parts, which is, as you can see here, primered. I did the first coats on the engine block, which is this really like bright lime orange, what do you call it, fluorescent orange kind of, and the skirts and all that, well, I'm not going to need those. The Continental kit wheel, no, I forgot to mention that the Continental kit wheel, as you saw in the movie there, what I saw you, those stills there, there's no Continental kit, there's no skirts like I put on the first model, the one I did smoke blue, and which I did the junker of, you saw before, in the mid 90s, and so I wanted to get, like, yeah, exactly like that. I didn't feel like making it like that. No, I think sometimes these cars are so freaking awesome. You know, they were made so wild like that in the late 50s, up until 60, 61, let's say, give or take that, or 62, that they'll never make this stuff again. They don't even need, actually, the fender skirts and the Continental kits. And there are people, they don't even like that accessories, those kinds of accessories at all. Like people who don't like white walls, you know. And you know, by the way, I actually thought about doing the tires black walls. like I did on my 58 Chevy Impala here a couple of years ago, I think. There it is. Looking all sharp. That was my idea, to do the two-toning like that there. Yeah. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the rest of my models there, I like to include as much stuff as I can when I do these videos of what stuff I'm doing at home, you know. Did this one about 3 years ago, I think. 64 GTO with a Riviera, and you got a 59 Cadillac that I did not make. Did not make that. That's a die cast. Danbury Mint. There's another one somewhere. Where's my other? Oh yeah, 57 Chevy Danbury Mint. Also, I didn't make that as well. So that's about it. I'm really tickled pink through. This is going fantastically. Like I said, the paint, I wish it could have been better. I'm going to try to come up with something better, I think, for the next model I make, because the next model I make, I think I'm going to make right after this one, because unlike these paintings, that's why I get tired of these paintings. They take too goddamn long. I'd like to, you know, make that, no, maybe you don't know, I want to make that American La France ladder truck. Huge thing. Cost me $70. I never paid that much for a kit before, so yeah. Anywho, so that's it, that's all. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here I left out. Got my gauges painted there. I even painted inside these trims here. You see the chrome trims right here? Right there, the bottom ones. Those are the front ones here. Because that's how they are, you see? But you have a good observant eye if you notice those two Tin Men movie clips that I showed you on my computer. The inserts on those rear chrome moldings are not white. They are actually body color. I could do that too, and I'm like, I don't feel like it. I want to be true to the original. You know, I mean, that's what's great about making models. You can change things. I mean, when you start, you know, you got to follow, like, you know, when you have like many years experience as I do doing this, you don't need to follow this exactly. You know, it's more of a guide. But when you start to build things, no, you got to be really careful with the glue. You got to be careful with the painting. You gotta. It's not. This is not something for somebody who's not meticulous, who can't be meticulous, you know, or taking steps on how to make things. So, anyway, again, you know, as I've come to even me, as much as I got talents in this and that, I mean, you know, it's very important to always remember not to be jealous. Don't be jealous by somebody. Be inspired. I thought I heard that somewhere. It's beautiful, you know. I mean, look, at 44 years of age, I'm still changing. I'm actually. Right now, I'm in a very happy part of my life right now, actually. I don't know what it is. I think it's something like a lot of us, that where the China virus, the coronavirus, made us realize, you know, certain things about ourselves and what we should appreciate more. And it's funny I should say that, because today, by the way, is Remembrance Day. So I'm definitely going to make it a point to post this video later, actually. And even though it's, as you can see, it's a pretty crappy day, but we've been really spoiled lately with the weather. And but again, you know, as the expression goes, let's not we forget, you know, not just, you know, fallen soldiers that sacrificed their lives or risked their lives for our freedom in a more crazy world of the old times, when being old school is not a good thing. Being retro, in the retro, you know, the good old days, they weren't always good old days. So, you know, just be appreciative and love the ones that are close to you, and be more open-minded, and just be well. Just enjoy what you love doing, and keep things simple as much as possible. Yeah, and even me, by the way, another thing about changing, like, man, I was complaining about my apartment. I hated it, and I still kind of hate it, but I've come to appreciate it more. I have to say I'm looking at much more of the bright side of it all, and managing. Like the littlest things, like look how my father-in-law installed this light for me, this really bright light overhead. That's what was missing in this office. It's always dark, there's no goddamn overhead light, right? Because this building is like, what, 100 years old probably. It's so bloody old, it's built on sedentary rock. That's why all the floors are crooked. Yeah, alright guys, I'm rambling on. So thanks again for watching. Take care, stay good, keep your puck on the ice, and don't take any wooden nickels. Let's finish looking at these two things I just framed a couple of days ago. That's a picture I cut out of a Maclean's magazine from 1960. That's in Halifax. That is a vintage metal frame. Just a beautiful item. And that's an original 1960 Harley Davidson ad. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Christmas is coming, so if you see anything you like, take care. Bye-bye. Let me know.